My good people, we have to stop trying to control everybody else when our own kingdoms are unattended. Real talk. Because we, like, the world teaches us that we have to control other people. We have to influence how they feel about us. Like, our status matter, our class matters, like our color matters, where we're from matters, and that's why we're always trying to influence other people to get what we want. But we have it backwards. How we get what we want and desire and how we attract it to us is by focusing on regulating ourselves, internalizing and controlling our own world first, really knowing ourselves and really governing ourselves, our thoughts, our emotions, our reactions, our habits, our patterns. Like, these are the things. Our regulation of our body itself. What are we consuming? What are we releasing? Who are we allowing to be around us? Are we containing our energy? Are we monitoring our energy? Are there things that are draining our energy? It could be people that we have around us. It could be jobs that we have. It could be that we need to do a better job of managing our partners. And that sounds terrible. But seriously, like, just in terms of like our connections, like, how are we, reacting to each other? How are we working together, or are we not? It could be that a leakage is how we are raising our kids, like not being attentive, not being present, being so consumed by work that there's nothing left of us. That means that we need to possibly looking at a different work situation, maybe going remote, maybe looking for other possibilities, y'all. Like, literally, we have the wrong focus on a daily basis. Always trying to control other people, always trying to get other people to understand us. But the reality is, most of us don't understand ourselves. And that is the real problem. How can we get other people to understand us when we don't understand us? How can we expect people to be what we expect when we really don't understand what we want? And that's the problem. We got to understand what we want, what we don't want, when we want it. We have to first get the vision, the path that we're driving to in order to magnetize, attract, and then create those dynamics. Also need to think about what we're directing our energy to. What is our attention going to? What kind of decisions are we making? Are we people pleasing? Are we surrendering our power, our attention, our time to people? That is what we need to be focusing on. Governing our own kingdom, regulating ourselves. Y'all, I started doing shadow work before I even realized what I was doing. I did made a decision that I wanted to control my emotions. I wanted to stop letting my emotions control me. It was after the initial realization that I was always victimizing myself, but that it was my own decisions that were creating it. Those people were who they were. And oh, yes, they definitely hurt me. But I had self sabotaged and allowed those people to come into my field. I made the decision to allow them to come close. And why did I do that? And so that is what started my journey to say, okay, I'm becoming aware. I'm becoming aware of my decisions. I am becoming aware of my habits. I am becoming aware of my patterns. I am becoming aware that I might be the problem. Oh, and what a moment that was. So I started being like, okay, every time I'm triggered, every time I have emotion, is it because it's something happening in that real time? Is like, is it my feeling, my intuition? But is there evidence to back that up too? Right? To like, is it justified? Or am I responding to something that's happened in the past? And is my response just pulling from a memory, right? Y'all, our neurons are firing. Am I pulling from a memory, which is then invoking? It could be a physical response, it could be emotional response that I'm having. What is causing this emotion? And so then once I learned, I practiced for 2 to 3 years. It took 2 to 3 years off for me to get that regulation of my thoughts. Because I also decided once I started getting control of my emotions, then I said, I'm going to start controlling my thoughts. Where if like, I it started because I asked my daughter, I said, what do you think this percentage in your thoughts is at in terms of negative? Like if you said negative, positive, what do you think your percentage is? And she said she was like 70% negative. And I was like, oh no, we have to start changing that. So I thought about that, but then I said, well, what about me? What percentage of my thoughts are in the negative? And it was way too high. So once I started controlling my emotions, then I said, okay, well, I'm going to now think about my thoughts too and why I would think certain ways. And so that's when I start focusing on my thoughts. And so once I started focusing on my thoughts, then I said, okay, well, what about how I choose to respond to other people? And I said, okay, well, if I think about how I'm thinking about things, and if I think about how my how my emotions are, like where they're coming from, is it evidence, intuition, is it actual, or is it just past response? Then when I think about how I'm going to respond to people, I should pause. I should start pausing to make that analysis before I respond to people. I should give myself that time. I shouldn't just react. I should respond. So I started practicing how I respond to people based on the work, the discipline, the self-regulation that I had developed, which has really served me well, y'all. Because I've had everybody coming for me. You hear me? The Matrix does not like this sister, as evidenced by the 2 tornadoes in 2 weeks, in the unprecedented number of tornadoes that happen to be coming toward the one tract of land where I live. But anyway, so then I said, okay, I should start regulating how I respond to people. And now I'm at a point where I'm like, I should also control how I'm making decisions based upon the analysis of how I should respond, and also scanning the situation, the risk, the opportunities, and just really taking time to say, okay, I can control how I feel, I control how I think, I control how I respond, and now I can control how I make decisions moving forward, y'all. And so all of this are examples of how you regulate your kingdom. And if you can't tell, there's a lot of work that goes into regulating your own kingdom. It can keep you busy. And you better believe me and my partner, we are going to help you to be able to do this work. That's what I'm working on with him. It's a human development application based on what I have learned and am practicing and am mastering myself. I want to help as many people as I can to never, ever, ever have to go through the pain that I've went through. Like, I want to help people to be able to ascend. And this is not even mentioning all the shadow work, all the healing of the layers. There is so much work. We can have everything we intend and desire if we choose to master ourselves and we stop trying to shape other people. I hope that this is helpful.